NaVi making things look simple for the first map. It was overpass their pick and they thrive. Double digits on their T side, and now it was just a story of MiBR clawing it back, picking up momentum, but my goodness, the stars shone brightly, Chad. Electronic and simple, electric.
Putting on an absolute show there and keeping pressure on that economy once more. They do it time and time again, and here, that first half was absolutely blistering. You know, you can't fault them. Still keeping that record I talked about before, winning pistols and then converting the second round at 100% throughout this tournament. That is huge. We cannot understate that at all. That is such a massive stat line to keep. And coming into this, it felt like, you know, after that first half, it was only a matter of time until we would have NaVi closing out and taking the victory.
Yeah, we talked before the game about them picking Overpass over Mirage, that they may have prepared something special. They actually hadn't. What they did bring was good fundamentals and good defaults.
Yeah, and I loved actually some of the innovations we got to see just from NaVi's CT side. Like, they've clearly got tricks. I know you said they wouldn't have to pull them out, Chad, but there was just a quick boost towards underpass. There was a quick fast peek. There was swapping the AWP out on the spawn. There was elements of NaVi doing their homework.
Yeah, their awareness to find kills was definitely there, and their innovation in doing so. It wasn't just the brute force. They did have that tactical element that we were talking about. But if you look at some other key stat lines, you could say, oh, hey, this game was super close. The clutches went in the favor of MiBR. They won 3 to only the 2 of NaVi. You look at the opening kills. MiBR had more of those. They had 13 to the 12 of NaVi. But like Bjorn mentioned, the trading here was so phenomenal from this NaVi side. It didn't really matter if they were losing that opening kill.
It is funny, isn't it, Threat, that you watch the game and you see like, okay, so they've got like 10 seconds left and things should be pretty simple here. They've just got to get this first frag. And then suddenly it's just the observers just has to desperately try and keep up because suddenly there's 4 frags in 2 seconds and the bomb goes down.
And the funny thing is, Sousa's been doing this for years. I remember playing him back in 2010 when he made his breakthrough.
Yeah.
He had the same style. It was so annoying to play against because if you're playing a site and there's 15 seconds left, surely you think, okay, there's no way he's going to push here, right? So you're just going to start falling back, and then he comes and gets the bomb down at like 1 second left.
And they've been getting away with this more often than not, Chad.
Yeah, but I think, you know, one of the keys to the side for MiBR was the double ops, and we were about to highlight that. You could see that they were able to get a couple of kills early in the piece, you know, early within the first 7 to 8 rounds of their game. But moving forward from there, they weren't able to get the economy up to continue with it. It was such a bow that they really needed to keep, but they weren't able to do so because of that economic pressure that NaVi were applying.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I actually think we have a couple of examples of it here.
Yeah, so this is the double op I was just mentioning. They got the 2 opening kills. It was a 3-on-5 situation, but you're going to be able to see this trading that we're talking about. This is what's perfect. They've done a really weird setup by putting both Fallen and Cold Zero over on this bomb site. But then, hey, look, NaVi are coming on through. Their stars are still alive. They're able to trade out efficiently onto the bomb site. Flamey, Edward, and Simple all still here. Now we have a 3-on-3. This is where it gets interesting. Another kill will fall in the favor of MiBR, but Flamey showing some fantastic aim and poise under pressure. Now it's going to leave Fur in a 1-on-2 situation. And from here, his positioning, they know how aggressive he's been in these opening rounds, expecting him to be behind, gets a grenade kill there. But this just shows that even with 2 opening kills, the trading and fundamentals of NaVi is super strong, and they have the stars alive to close out rounds.
No, absolutely. And this is something that we're going to be seeing more and more of from NaVi. It is a clear style. You know, we talk about the styles of different teams. NaVi's is run that clock down, get every CT sweating bullets, and then throw your own at them.
Yeah, and play very compact in those later stages of those rounds. They always push 5 players together, and as CT, we watched a clip on Train earlier, they always stack 3 or 4 people.
I think if we need to highlight an individual as well, in the pre-show we were talking about Edward, you know, being more of a supportive player now.
Right.
He was really, you know, putting in work. He had a fantastic performance, better than what we've seen from him in some time. But in my mind, even though the scoreline was relatively close, it felt like a NaVi game just to close there.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first half that was just so spectacular from NaVi, but that leads us into our second map, and I want to make sure we get our heads around it before we go any further, because this one surprised you guys. Dust 2 from MiBR. This is the same team who set major history by conceding a 16-0 on Dust 2 at this major, and they've picked it in a semi-final.
Yeah, that's the reason why it's so mind-blowing, right? You would think that they'd be shaken. Now, sure, it's a weaker map for NaVi. We've seen that they weren't playing fantastically on it until they took on Big, and there they really look well-oiled. That 3 days, 4 days off that they had, that's definitely the time that they used to fix their Dust 2, and MiBR know this. We saw that their game plan when they played early in the tournament was on point. They had some really nice strategies. They played off each other well. They've got really cool boosts to deal with different scenarios. The problem is, mentally, you lost 16-0. If you start down 7 or 8 rounds, that's where it starts coming back to, and this is where I see issues for the Brazilian side.
It's going to have to be that cliche. Strong start from MiBR if we want to see a third.
Yeah, definitely. And as Chad pointed out, it's really strange that they picked us too. They should have gone for an Inferno. I think it would have been a much safer pick. They played it plenty of times in the Challenger and Legend stage.
You don't want to reserve judgment until after that does too. You never know what they've got in store.
Well, I guess, but it's still, except for the loss versus Tyloo,
yeah,
they won almost every single game this past month on that map. And NaVi, on the other hand, have lost every single Inferno they played except for one game versus Ghost, I think, since ESL Cologne.
Well, with all of that said, it does sound like we're almost ready to be jumping into this one. So wake up, Wembley, once more. In fact, I've wanted to do this, and I feel like London, this is the right place to do it. So you know how that whole Icelandic, those guys did that?
Sure.
Are you guys feeling up for that? We're going to make some noise for the semi-final. All right. With me. All right, it's over to you, casters. Let's get this going. It's the semi-final of the FACEIT Major. Let's see if NaVi can close it in 2. It's over to you, casters. Moses and Anders.
Thank you so much, Alex. What a delivery. The energy is absolutely here in London. I'm loving every second of this, and I think this Dust 2 game, I hope it's going to be interesting. I hope it's going to be good. I don't even know what to expect, but...
That's the best kind of game, where you just have no idea what's coming, because it is a matter of hope with the way that we saw MiBR play on this. Now, they did give the interview, and I guess you kind of have to say this kind of thing after that 0-16 loss, where they just say, we're still very confident. We're still more than willing to pick that map coming into a playoff series. And obviously, we get to put that to the test right here, as that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah, maybe they just thought, you know what, we didn't even really show what we had. It was kind of like a weird start. And
it is an easy game when you get 0-16 to just kind of say, or I mean, even for us as casters and analysts, you do kind of wipe that one out. It is kind of like an aberration. It is one of those things that like the one-off games that aren't going to happen very frequently. So I certainly know that MiBR is going to be much better on Dust 2 than they showed in that game.
So the bad news, Simple and Electronic might be the best duo in the world right now.
Yeah.
Good news, MiBR were really starting to warm up in the stage of that. Like a lot of their players were coming online. You see Fallen hitting great shots and actually out-AWPing Simple at times, creeping into some of those shots. So there's something to work with here on Dust 2. It's going to be coming up right now, ladies and gentlemen. NaVi starting on the CT side, MiBR on the T side. And we're absolutely ready here. The first semi-final at the FACEIT London Major. And Fur is just peeking it out while the rest are rushing. Could we be so lucky? No, they're going to be slowing it down. I was so into that, Moses. A good old B rush on Dust 2.
Ready for the rush. It would have been beautiful. And actually, all 5 players are going to be on this side of the map, and it feels like they want to go into it. Molotov to force Electronic out of the back. They're waiting to hear. They're counting the bullets, and I think now they're going to be creeping in. Molotov, he moved out of position for a potential nade stack. Here come the Molotovs. Electronic has moved over. They're going to think someone's back platform. He's got the first kill. He's holding the line, and oh, look at the retake already. They're coming in. Zeus and Flamey aren't waiting for anything, and it's just Fur, and he somehow found a couple, but 13 HP in a 1-on-2, you cannot be feeling comfortable. Bomb plant might be the best he can hope for.
Man, they were all ready for that one day. He's not going to go for the bomb plant. He wants to clutch instead. He's going to peek it. He actually hit that shot on Edward, but does he realize Simple is right around the corner? He's going to get peeked, and Simple will take him down. There's a good shot, and ultimately, Electronic, I mean, if he had been caught in those flames, it could have been very different, but smart move from him.
Yeah, great adjustment. They were ready. They had a plan for any B hit that was coming in. The fact that he's able to get that first kill is huge. There's the window for Zeus to be coming through the smoke. Flamey there as well, and just awkward timing. Even Simple even rotating out of those B holes when he gets the kill on the flank. You could see Fur was considering it. But a lack of plant means they cannot do an early buy in that 3rd round. They've got to go for investment here. 2 scouts and a bunch of pistols.
I mean, it's dangerous on this map. If you give those scouts the early fight, if you even just tag someone with a body shot, it makes it easier for the Deagles to do so much more work. So, want to be careful about that. They do peek it. Simple just not even afraid. He crouched right into the scope and somehow came out alive.
Right underneath the bullet. That was very close to ending his round early. We see this so frequently. This battle for long is going to be so important in this matchup for MiBR to be able to establish that success early on. We saw them unable to do that in their 0-16 loss, and if you can't take long, the defense has such an easier time. Here's a peek with the scout, a tag, but not a kill. Simple's got a second. It looks like they want to go right back at him. He's got a deeper, a wider angle. He can peer closer in, but Fur finishes him off.
Flamey's kind of tagged up as well. Zeus is Not quite in one-shot range, but still could be lethal, absolutely. So, 45 seconds. They have time to play with. But that deep pit position over at long for Zeus is going to be kind of hard to dig him out. If you have grenades, it's a bit different, but right now he should be able to stay alive in that one. They are scattered all across the map, NaVi. Let's see if they are going to give them any fight. Fallen creeping in towards Catwalk and that A bomb site. Can't see anything behind the box. That X-ray only visible to us. He's just thinking about it. Time quickly running out now. 19 seconds. He gives up that little adventure. Actually, he's going to sort of stick around. I think he's just baiting him out with the sound of him jumping. Alone on the bomb site, Flamey, although up in Upper Dark, still Edward is going to be there. And that's a good kill on the bomb, dropping with 7 seconds. And there should be no way through at all. So, good hold here for NaVi, only losing Simple. They were good at doing this as well on Overpass. One of the scary things that they haven't always been able to do, but they kept it pretty clean in some of the rounds that they had the early advantage in.
Yeah, the second and third rounds in the first half Overpass were much dangerous. Three kills from MiBR in each one of those. This time, nothing goes their way. Scouts not doing the work that they really wanted to, so NaVi off to a good start. This is now all 3 pistols and all 3 second rounds that NaVi's been able to win in this series. Not boding well. That's a pretty scary stat as well for MiBR.
They've been doing very, very good job. Simple, almost picking into it, and it will. Glocks left on the other side, and with no armor, there shouldn't be much resistance at this point. So this is all sort of par for the course. He does get that shot on throw, doesn't he? Of course he does.
Just a monster. Even Zeus not going to get caught off guard. The reload comes in. Tarek's not able to punish. Pretty standard 3 rounds for NaVi. MiBR going to be picking up the rifles now. Fallen's going to have that AWP with some armor. And AK's next to it with plenty of utility. Desk mentioned they need to get off to a good start. Here's where it begins. See how much of that duel Fallen might be able to peek down. But actually, Fallen's not going to go for the armor. He wants the utility, so maybe a little bit more of a passive style of optic from him, at least in this round before he has the armor, before he's able to take some shots or some nades. No one peeking close up. 4 players at long for NaVi. There's the emphasis they're putting on that portion of the map.
Incredible risk in case it was an early B hit. There would have been actually nobody in the bomb site. But they're willing to take it here in their bonus round just to see what's up.
It's almost worth it because you can just save the guns at that point and have another clean round, but it's worth it if they attack long and you have 4 players there and you just demolish that hit. Maybe it prompts MiBR to stay away from long. So calculated gamble, and obviously neither teams really benefit from it. But importantly, MiBR hasn't seen that NaVi is willing to do that.
Stewie holding up a dark alone. Sometimes you will have pushes in there from the CT side to sort of recover it later in a round. It can be very frustrating if you're on the T side and you lose that part of the map because suddenly you have no idea where they are. They could go into CT or T spawn. They could just go everywhere on the map. Stewie's holding it just fine at the moment. A little bit of noise prompting them to put out the Molotov. 50 seconds now on the clock, and they've got mid catwalk and upper dark. That's about as much control as you can get here for MiBR. Now they need to figure out what do they want to do with it.
They haven't had to fight for any of this either, so it's kind of weird. They haven't gotten an engagement. Navi's really felt no pressure. There's a lot of counter utility they'll be able to use when this hit comes in. Simple with the op. He's got 2 flashbangs as well. He's here at the A bomb site. Electronic also has a flashbang to use. This might be a weird mid to B split, but Simple's got the first frag as they come jumping down, and the follow-up. Not enough in his face, and Edwards pulled out of that B bomb site. They need this kill, and they need it clean. The follow-up isn't coming in. Stewie doesn't check to his left, and Flamey's going to get position inside B tunnels.
Yeah, picked up the AK-47, but unable to complete that kill. Cold Zero going to win the fight against him. 2 on 3. You can hold this B bomb site against a lot of people. Very hard to retake if you're on the CT side. We'll see if they're going to be able to. Fallen is right now a little bit exposed. He's got Cold Zero watching that angle behind him, so that's why he's got his head turned at the moment. NaVi counting the seconds. They've got a couple of flashbangs and a grenade to set this one up. Cold Zero is 1 grenade away from death as well. Doesn't actually touch him, just did 2 points of health as well. Let's see if they can work out. 2 on 3, and that opening kill is all they needed. Great shot from Electronic. Now it's all on Cold Zero, and he goes down to Simple. A triple here. And that is a problem that they need to solve. Simple on long with that AWP. There must be a way to shut him down. They have to find that solution.
It's not going to be easy. MiBR is hoping for 1 kill at this A bomb site. When they jump down, if Simple falls here, it prompts a much more aggressive rotation from the B bomb site, which that mid to B split is designed to punish. 2 players coming out mid at that exact moment. The B rotator doesn't really expect that. Doesn't pan out. They still get the bomb site, but now a double op setup for the Na'Vi side. It gets even worse.
By the way, they had re-smoked CT spawn a number of times in that round. I think they were probably hoping that that would lure Simple in, because they were sort of like, if they double drop him in CT spawn and they've lured him in with the initial mid smoke, I think that's probably how that strat is designed to work, and they just didn't really bite on it. So it's actually a really cool idea for MiBR.
They had a couple cool ideas when they lost this map, 016, that obviously didn't pan out, but they are kind of tactically very cool. Look for the mid-B setup, with the player being boosted up onto the boxes and CT spawn, reverse boosted by MiBR. Marching up catwalk and going right at Simple.
He's 9-1 right now. He would love a fight. You can tell that he's dialed in as well. Going to be flashed for a long time here as they make their way closer. They're running with their backs turned to not be flashed themselves. Electronic picking up one, and it's a great follow-up from him. Simple not really able to find anyone. They're all crouched behind that wall. Fallen taking down Zeus, Edward, and a good double for him, and that's going to clean it all up. They got the bomb plant and 1 kill, and I think they were expecting a little bit more.
That's a great defense from Na'Vi, especially because that's their 5th round in a row, so the full losing bonus is going to be built up for MiBR. And the fact that that's coming in, Na'Vi knows it's going to be a buyer next round no matter what. So all they're saying is just don't die. As long as we don't die, they can have the site, they can have the plant, they can have the extra money because they're going to have the buy anyways. Just don't give up any weapons. Don't give them any ground that's going to allow them to swarm and find 2 kills. Do exactly that. 5-0. A pretty clean 5-0 as well.
Golden setting up in the middle. Don't see many challenges out of the CT side these days, but he can do it. Stewie instead going to flash his way out. He just keeps running. He wants to get into pit, and somehow he's made it. Oh, Edward. That's a beautiful headshot to shut it down. And Cold Zero goes up in flames on the other side. Fur can't see a single thing, and they retake long easily. It's a well done from Na'Vi. A crucial battle to be winning, as you said earlier on, and they do it in style.
It just feels like as many flashbangs as MiBR threw over the wall, there was just one missing. Stewie needed just that one to be able to turn the corner on Edward. Just didn't get that time. And now you get to a situation where you do start to scratch your head and wonder about this Dust 2 pick. It's going to be, barring anything crazy in this round, probably 6-0 for Na'Vi, and no real chances for MiBR to win a round. Just that 2-on-3 at the B bomb site. They need something to give them hope because they didn't have a lot for so long in overpass. Here come the 2 smokes, the Molotov as well to allow them to get towards that B bomb site. Electronics found the gap. We see this so frequently. Tarek had no idea, didn't even know it was coming. 4 players surviving for Na'Vi.
Yeah, they were feeling very confident in that wall of smoke, thinking surely there's absolutely no way that anyone is going to be crazy enough to push through it. But Electronic, I don't think it's craziness. I think it's just raw confidence at this point. They are playing such a good game at the moment. Na'Vi 6-0 in favor of them right now on Dust 2. Winning map number 1. That's scary.
Yeah, I mean, dominating in that opening half and getting up 15-5, that's a dominant performance. And even though MiBR came back, it never felt in danger. Now you've got an early tactical timeout as MiBR has to get into this game, and they've got to do it so quickly. 2 players over 10,000 after the purchase on the Na'Vi side. This is a lot of money that MiBR has to burn through. So whatever formula, whatever winning recipe they're thinking of cooking up right now, it's got to be long term. It can't just get you that 1 round. It's going to have to get you 2 or 3.
Yeah, those guys brought the right jerseys today, Moses. Na'Vi representing down in front. It's looking very good for them right now. 2nd best team in the world, and they are closer every round, it seems, to making that grand final. Let's see what MiBR can show us. Definitely an interesting boost on that side. If anyone was to peek forward, it'd be very hard to see that happening. We're getting challenged a bit in the middle. The Molotov forcing him back. Does he see it? He does, and that does a lot of damage to Flamey. Kill would have been perfect. On the other side, Simple, though. He is always ready for a fight. And he's creeping in as well. Up on the box, going to fall back down to the low ground. Did he see it? I'm not sure that he did. The flick not connecting. And Simple goes back for more. He's just not afraid whatsoever at this point. He just wants to fight. Flashbang goes over the wall and Fur gets tagged right through it. And that might prompt him to fall back. That's, again, one of those fights that if Fur wins it, makes such a difference for the T side.
I'm wondering why it's Fur challenging with the op out mid, though, and not Fallen, who's got the CZ. That's the play call you're going to make. Look at Simple rotating over. They might think they have him beat with the Opera in mid, and he's almost going to find one through the smoke. Flashbangs over, but it's not going to stop Simple. It's just going to delay the inevitable. They're running out of utility, MiBR. They have to go at this at some point. 38 seconds. They have to start gaining ground. It's going to be a fight the whole way, and Simple here to put a stop to it. There's the first. Tagged up through the wall, but he hasn't budged a muscle.
Look how much time he's buying for them. 25 seconds, he takes one more down. Fire at his feet, and he's finally going to go down, but he just bought them like 20 seconds in Navi's favor, and now, I mean, with 15 seconds left, you try and rush up long. If you lose one player, that's pretty much a game, and 10 seconds here. They put up the smoke for the cross, and Sue somehow not completing that kill. One bullet would have done the trick, and Edward tracing them through the smoke, taking down Coldzera, and right as they think they've got it, Tariq going to be dropped, no bomb plant. And that's the round done with. Fur was meant to hold long in case the bomb went down. We could have covered it from there. It's a good idea. 7-0 in favor of Navi. I'm having horrible flashbacks, Moses.
Yeah, this is not going well. Not going well at all. And yeah, Simple, they're just almost scared to take this fight. What can you really do? And Molotov eventually takes him out, but the damage is done, not only in terms of the players, but just in terms of the amount of time, as you said, that was bought by that position. Perfect rotation. It almost feels like MiBR wanted to buy in this round, but because Fur lived after the time, he's got the op with no armor. Good tag with the scout, but MiBR, they need to be able to complete some of these kills early on in these rounds. They need to find an opening pick. 12,000 now on Electronic and Flamey.
Because we've seen, even when they do the damage, it doesn't put enough pressure on the Navi defense, right? They don't have to shuffle players around. They can just stay in their original positions, and that's a problem for sure. A little bit of damage to Zeus, a little bit to Simple. But you're right, that opening frag makes all the difference in the world. Electronic down the middle just as the smoke fades. That AK can do some damage through those doors, so you want to be careful on the other side. Flamey's in position for just one shot to fall back. He's actually going to miss the timing a little bit, and re-peeking into it, that could be very scary. More damage being put out here from MiBR.
This is an all-right start with the 3 tags on these players. At some point, like I said, they need to just find a kill. They need to find the opening. Oh, pop flash, this could be perfect. Electronic's gonna peek, but Fur's got the angle. That flashbang didn't blind him, and now 2 players inside the B bomb site. It's still a very strong defense. There's Simple picking off Fur in mid. Simple's all the way over at the A bomb site. But I think MiBR might think there's only 1 player defending this, and they're in for a rude surprise.
It's Flamey as well with that AWP. Can they get rid of him quickly? They need to do it, and there's Stewie with a perfect headshot. Now just Edward. And flanking through middle is Zeus, but he might be too late. Edward doing a good job at 25 seconds. The bomb going to make the jump pass. Can Edward stop it? Not this time. Fallen will drop him instead, and now Cold holding on to the middle. Zeus, he's flanked all the way out for the long doors, and he shows up in time. If he wins this, that will be a disaster for MiBR. They put in so much work into this round. They just need a bit more, and Fallen again. This time it's a double, and he takes down Simplest. What a triple kill here. Beautiful for MiBR. Finally they're on the board. You see the work they have to put in to try and complete even 1 round.
Well, they started it with very, very little to play with, so it's impressive they're able to make this happen. Pistols, a scout, and the AWP, but you can see when you start getting a pick, when you're able to force people to move across this map, Dust 2 is all about the rotations, and MiBR finally able to have enough success early on with these tags, with a pick. They can actually make it difficult for Navi to figure things out. Triple op setup for the defense. We got 5 ops on the board across the map. That's craziness, and there's a timing peak with the pop flash for Coldzera. Navi abandons it in the right moment, but speedy up catwalk. Our Fur and Stewie.
Yeah, nobody defending there at the moment. Sometimes the CTs will push up though. I mean, especially in the past, we've seen double pushes towards catwalk to try and keep that part of the map early on. But with these AWPs on the Navi side, that long position again is so powerful. 13-3 on Simple, Electronic 10-3. Again, that duo is, I don't know how you stop them.
I don't think you can stop them. I think you gotta withstand them.
Outlive them, just make, eventually they'll get tired. That's the kind of thing, let them punch themselves out.
I don't think that works. only in the movies. Well, back to the B bomb site. You have Fur and a lurk position on catwalk. Pretty popular position for a lurk as well, so I imagine Navi, even on a rotation, will be aware of the possibility, aware of the danger. Now, MiBR can actually use this defensive smoke to get close up, to kind of challenge this B bomb site, get close before they fully realize exactly what's happening.
In the past, when the Fnatic were at the top of their game, we saw them sometimes boost behind that smoke, and they would look over and look into it. It's very dangerous, but it is kind of cool when it works out. Edward, good position here for a quick headshot. He repositions just as they come through. MiBR, they must have this round. They need it desperately. 20 seconds, and Stewie, return headshot. Tariq taking down Edward, and it's looking much better now. And look who's over at Catwalk. It's Fur, and he's been lurking this whole time, and they're going to find him, actually. Zeus, again, pushing out the longhouse. They're still quite far away in a 3-on-3, so it's not clear that they even want to go for it, but good round, MiBR, picking up the early kills on the bomb side and getting the bomb down. See if they can escape with all the rifles as well.
That's the thing. Even though NaVi's not going to go for this, what they can do is set up to be able to take all these weapons away from MiBR. You have a 7-1 lead. You can afford to give this round away. Your money is starting to dwindle. It was so strong just a round or two ago, but if they're able to take this off away from Fallen, force rebuys from MiBR, then it gets very nice for them. Oh, Fallen spotted it out though, and there's Electronic. He goes down, didn't even see it coming. To follow up from the stairs, it is going to be a challenge, and Fallen misses that, but actually everyone's surviving. Tariq and Stewie not even having to fully evacuate the bomb site. A second round, finally.
Yeah, the pressure is starting to just ease up a little bit. But because NaVi saved all these rifles, they're still dangerous in this next round. The fight continues. MiBR, nothing is easy for them right now.
No, we saw this down the stretch of Overpass. It was the economic decisions that allowed NaVi to finally close that round out. Now, it's good that we get these 2 rounds from MiBR. If they can get it, if they can break this money, then I think we can start to see them take control. And now I mean, this is when you start to get a flex a little bit on the offensive side. You get to show why exactly it is that you take this huge risk in picking Dust 2 into NaVi in this semifinals. But it is so hard to break them.
Yeah, you can tell. They've bent quite far, and they spent almost their entire bank NaVi into this upcoming round. It isn't done yet, though. 10th round, double AWP on Tariq, actually. He got the close spawn, so he's just going to run for it. They want to beat them to that corner and see if they can find that early kill. It's going to be a little bit of a peek, and Electronic will take the bait, and he's down. That's a great kill from Tariq. Well done.
That's well played. Another great opening for MiBR. When you find that opening pick, it's eventually when this starts to turn into some mind games, when it turns into a more tactical situation for the offense. You don't have to brute force into anything. Great find with the advantageous spawn. Flamey's going to go deep in towards this B bomb site through the double doors, so no eyes on middle. It's just simple on catwalk. Hoping somebody walks into his crosshair. That's the next point of danger for Stewie and coldzera on the staircase in lower dark. There's the pop flash peek.
Simple wants it. He really wants to edge his way forward. It's very risky playing that position alone. Be a flashbang to maybe force him back a little bit. But that's an opening kill for MiBR. Luxury they haven't enjoyed for quite a long time.
They got it, but what map control do they have to speak of? It's still a nice advantage to be 5-on-4, obviously, but you haven't been able to actually gain control of long. You haven't been able to pressure up catwalk whatsoever. You haven't moved in that direction. You're not out mid quite yet. 40 seconds left in this round, and they're just now starting to move. And I think Navi's getting the idea. Zeus made presence at long, now rotates over. There's effectively 3 players defending for a mid to B split. This is not going to be easy. Zeus, he looks like he wants to come through. We've seen this angle before. He misses the opportunity. They know he's here. He's doing damage to the smoke, but now he's in the flames, and now it's all on Edward.
Oh, the flashbang as well on him. He's in a lot of trouble here. He does somehow get a kill. That's quite impressive. He was completely overrun, and the rest, they can't even dream of getting back into this round. 2-on-4 at that B bomb site. And MiBR looking to take a third in a row. Tariq feeling hungry, and I don't know how he saw that kill, but he did. That's the AWP out of Symbol's hands. This is starting to shape up, Moses. Somehow MiBR have not been defeated yet, and Tariq will take that last kill for the triple.
They needed that hit as well. They needed that to be convincing, because that's what allows Tariq to go on the hunt. 4 players, and you take it very, very quickly. And you have to eventually take all those weapons. If you are to break Navi, which is necessary for MiBR, you have to be able to hunt down these weapons right at the end. A third for them. And Navi, we mentioned it just a couple rounds ago, 2 players with 12,000, and it's all gone. They are going to invest into this. It's not a full buy for the Navi side for the defense, but they are picking up a scout, some pistols, SMG, whatever they can to fight with.
Oh.
Fall in with a chance.
It's almost like he senses it. A lot of grenades raining in on coldzera.
3 HP left as well. That's a bit brutal.
No fight in the middle yet, though. I was kind of hoping that Simple would just take the shot through the wall. Part of me just thought that would happen. I don't even know.
Yeah, he is the kind of player that you think everything he does is going to be some kind of a highlight.
Indeed. So, boost right on the catwalk. Su's jumping for it so that they're ready. Not seeing anyone yet. Kind of a long shot that this is going to work out for NaVi. Even with the early damage on Cold Zero, you'd still think that T-side has the advantage. The fact that they've been able to put 3 rounds together, I mean, after losing 7 in a row, they obviously are very experienced players on this team, but I still can't imagine that the atmosphere must be a little bit dark on their side right now.
Oh, here's that stack. We'll see if it comes into play. There's the pop flash, there's the swing out, and they've got one. Fallen has to back away, but they want to go back for more. They're sticking around, and they're losing this fight. Fallen, that's the bomb, and Terra can't handle it either. There's NaVi, pouncing at the right moment.
Wow. That is a setup and a half. You know, you put that down on paper and you think this is how it's probably going to work out. The chances that it actually does live in the server, and especially in the semifinals, very, very slim. Beautiful Counter-Strike. That's what Simple said that he wanted. Well, that's a great setup.
No, I mean, you have to love the work that's put in. When that kind of comes out for NaVi and that actually works, that is a huge swing, and that is crushing. MiBR just starting to build the momentum, just starting to build into this game. They get stopped in their tracks, and so many weapons. That's the crazy thing. So many players surviving. That's how effective that was for NaVi. 3 players alive, and you're able to get a lot of free weapons.
Hearing the return of the Smooya chant. It's back.
It is back.
It's creeping back in every once in a while.
I haven't seen him once, of course, but it's still coming out.
I like it. 12th round.
Why do you think there's no death chance?
It'll happen eventually. I'll give him some time. A little bit more difficult to chant as well, isn't it? It's not really made for that. Again, the 3-man push towards long. Almost every single round, NaVi are down there and making sure.
4 players actually pushing long, and now Edward's rotating back, and it's interesting to see that happen and going for a mid-B split. I don't know if MiBR even realizes there were 4 players, but obviously if there's going to be long control from NaVi, someone's going to have to rotate back to control mid. Pop flash, timing not with Edward. Great control, great teamwork from NaVi.
Yeah. And
they knew exactly what the follow-up was to that.
And you could tell Edward just, you know, putting a bit of leash on himself, just making sure he didn't keep fighting that one. Could have been dangerous if he had. They picked up the open fallen back. Zeus has done this so many times. Oh, but they're not quite ready for it. He's going to get that kill. You could see Tarragon putting in that Molotov. He's not ready for that kind of a advanced position. 5 versus 3. This is not good news for MiBR.
They look absolutely lost across this map. They're not entirely sure where to go next. Fur has the AWP. I guess the only thing that they can do is attack this B bomb site. There is only one player here. It's Flamey. If he misses a shot, he could be in some trouble. It's not an op to protect this. It's not like he can just get a free kill out of it. Off angle is going to be tough to deal with. There's the peak. Stewie, low HP. Flemmy finds it anyways. It needs to be a follow-up frag, but Fur's got the op. He can't be the aggressor. Swaps out, and he gets nothing. Flamey is on point, and NaVi is going to have another big first half.
That's a tremendously hard angle for Flamey to get that first kill. I'm kind of impressed that he managed to see that and follow it up through the box. 9-3, 13th round, and this crushing performance from NaVi, it's right back in there. They gave them 3 rounds. They just managed to get their heads above water, Moses, and then
it's all gone.
The cloth is back over the head, the water's pouring down. It's not good news, is it?
No, none of this is good news if you're an MiBR fan. 3-9. And you don't have much to fight with. You better hope Cold Zero comes up with something magical with this scout. Looks like they want to work their way up catwalk. So he's going to lead the way. Fallen's going to come with him. Tarek and Cold Zero waiting outside long. I don't know what that Glock is going to do in mid, and I can't imagine it much. Maybe just the footsteps will pull someone over, but he's taken down so quick, it's not even a proper distraction, and no one from MiBR has set up in any way to take advantage of it.
You know, there was no way that was going to pull anyone out of position. Again, NaVi seems like they're making very, very few mistakes right now.
And you can look at that from the other angle as well. I mean, MiBR is not doing a whole lot to cause them to make a mistake. Ooh, Stewie, he's trying to jump around, trying to be quick, and actually put himself between Simple and Zeus at long, and Cold Zero now. Zeus isn't going to take this fight. He's at low HP. He's calling Edward over, who's got 100. Much safer to take that battle. Cold Zero, no chance for him to get in, and that's exactly why Edwards here. Takes a bullet, finds the frag. 7-round lead for NaVi.
10-3 in their favor. I mean, this is completely outrageous. MiBR, a lot of questions. I mean, I was seeing it on social media as soon as this map pick came in, and you could see the desk were a little bit surprised as well.
Yeah.
And right now, it doesn't really feel like the ace up the sleeve. It doesn't feel like...
That would have been the only reason for them to pick it, right?
Yeah.
And at this point, it just kind of, yeah, it's just falling flat in a very, very big way.
Well, let's just see. It's definitely not over yet, but this NaVi performance is so suffocating. Again, some of the stuff that we've been criticizing this team for in the past, even being the second best team in the world, is, you know, some of the force buys, some of the craziness that creeps in when they're winning games. Suddenly they'll make a couple of mistakes and maybe allow the other team to get back into it. I feel like all of those things have been corrected at this point. Zeus might just be proving me wrong. Thanks, Zeus. Appreciate it.
You know, Zeus is, it's fair play, because we saw him do that on Overpass coming up the ladder.
Yeah.
And a lot of his game seems to be predicated on just making sure Simple and Electronic have it as easy enough as possible. So, you know, he probably gets bored once in a while. Let him have his chance for glory. Go for a crazy push.
To be fair, he's done that like 3 or 4 times, and the other 3 times it did work out in his favor, so...
It's only so long you can get away with that kind of a push out long. Now you leave the A bomb site all to Simple. He's out towards long.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a great chance, a great opportunity to get into this. Electronic, I think, might just... Oh, they don't see him. Stewie doesn't spot him. And actually, there goes Simple. That's great. Now they can turn, and Electronic is going to find one. They know his position, and he's going to get punished. This will be a round for MiBR. And boy, do they need another one.
Yeah, all the rounds right now, pretty much. Tarek getting that one. Cold Zero, no trouble taking care of Edward. 4-10. Hesitant claps inside of the MiBR booth. You've got to be thinking that the pressure is at an all-time high right now. They keep doing that double jump into CT spawn, sort of thinking that they're going to catch him. They could have caught...
Electronic.
Yeah, Electronic in that position, right?
Yeah.
They just really weren't watching for it, but...
Still works out. It helps that NaVi had kind of stacked over towards mid. They were expecting a mid to B split to come in, so they had 2 players directly watching that, one in the B bomb site. Either way, long control again to NaVi. They've had no issue holding onto it, and MiBR has gone away from any kind of presence at long. Just don't even want to mess with it. 2 games of Dust 2 where they haven't gotten control of that portion of the map.
15th round, last of the half, with absolutely everything on the line here. 10-5, by the way, was the score in the first map as well in the first half, so at least there's some symmetry going on. Simple, gonna peek back. He actually does not even fall back, he just recommits to it. Misses the chance on throw, he keeps going again. That is how much he's feeling it. He just felt like, you know what, I'm just gonna try and no-scope it and see if that works. He does go down, another opening this time for MiBR. They're not gonna rush anything behind it, but does force the defense to shuffle their players around a bit.
Yeah, it really does. Zeus is actually in a position where he can get caught off guard. And NaVi thinks the same way they did in the previous round. They think it's going to be a mid to B. They have Electronic and Zeus both playing in CT spawn, one getting boosted up, and actually there's a huge window of opportunity here for MiBR to just trot into this A bomb site for free. They're going to drop down. There's the drop. They spot one. Can they get them both? Ferg is not even aware that Electronic was there in front of the box, but you have Cold Zero in a lurking position. If he finds this, he can hold out for the clutch, and it's easy. Bomb is going to get planted, and you have Cold Zero in a perfect position. Should be checkmate. He's going to get a follow-up kill, and MiBR are somehow going to claw themselves to 5 rounds.
Definitely better than what it was looking like. Could have been, I mean, it could have been almost no rounds is what it looked like. And they bring it back right at the end here. Now it's Flamey 1 versus 2 with about 39 health, so very unlikely that you make this crossing. You're going to be walking into a huge field where you're in a crossfire from 2 different angles, and Fallen will take him down 10-5 in favor of NaVi at the end of the first half here. Second map of the semifinals. It would have to be, again, a titanic performance out of MiBR to make this comeback happen. NaVi, they look like an incredible team right now.
The last 2 Dust 2s we've seen out of NaVi have looked like they put a lot of work into this map. MiBR's better show us something on this defense, because that was not a pretty 5 rounds for them to win.
A pistol round is how it always begins. And they do have the advantage. I mean, I feel like this is one of the fun things on Dust 2. Long range USPs versus Glocks, unless they upgrade, but
MiBR hasn't won a pistol round yet in this series, and I think you can point to that and say if we had just been able to win one. If you go out in 2 maps, then you're always going to say if we just won one pistol on one of those maps, we would have had a way better chance. And yes, that's, you know, you don't ever like if statements, but either way, MiBR's hopes and dreams at the London Major come down to this one half they must win to force us on to train. Otherwise, they're going home, and NaVi will be in the grand finals.
look at this. Quick push out long, nobody to catch them. A very different strategy. They do just sort of tag it up and fall back. Nope, I'm not even sure. Maybe coldzera and Tarek would have heard that shot, probably on the other side of the wall, but not much of a response. Does get checked out by Fallen. He's just noticing that nobody's there. NaVi gonna fall back. They have that P250 upgraded on Simple like they did on Overpass. He didn't really get to use it, but see if he does this time. That'll, I mean, if he takes that fight against Stewie inside of the B bomb site, it's the perfect weapon for it.
And they don't really have utility to kind of get close up, so I think it might just be that duel. There's maybe one pop flash. Fur's going to be here, but if that P250 from Simple takes off Stewie's head, Fur's in a lot of trouble. Tarek and coldzera will have a fast flank, and here we go.
Yeah, like artillery, they're rolling it into place. Stewie wants to stand up there right in front. One good kill. He's a little bit hard to find back here. With no more grenades, they're finally going to take him down, and Edward with the follow-up. Fur couldn't get into line. That was a long, drawn-out fight, and somehow there isn't enough backup there. Tarek running in, Cold getting stopped, and they're all following through this one choke point, getting shot down every step of the way. Now it's on Fallen, alone 1 versus 3, and they're just fighting him. They don't even care. He's out of bullets and out of luck as well. Now they're going to win the pistol. Edward taking him down, 11-5. That fight happened for a long time, and there was no relief.
Stewie's got to be a little bit frustrated that he wanted a second kill so badly, and it's so hard to manage this. Look at how long he stays alive. Yeah, repeated fights, and eventually Simple finds the angle to take him down. Fur, that's a tough angle in pistol, but the follow-up from NaVi is great. Once they get into the bomb site, don't immediately go for the plant. Everyone set up and wait for that kind of a fast retake to come through the doors. The flashbang comes in, even though 2 players might be blind. 2 are ready and waiting to cover him. Chance there for Fallen to find a cheeky kill. All 4 pistols in these 2 maps going to NaVi, and that is backbreaking for MiBR. It just gets so much more difficult if they can't win this round.
Definitely something that has to change in the future for this team, although that is a good shot from coldzera. Lights out for Flamey. No chance to respond at all. Fur is going to follow it up. He's feeling it. Knows they, I mean, this is where they almost have to play a little bit crazy. This is going to have to be some wild counter-strike coming out from them if they want a chance to get back in.
It still feels too early in the round for Fur to go for some kind of insanity. It will have to happen eventually, but there's just too much that can still happen across this map. Electronic not making any noise. Him and Fur just on opposite sides of the smoke, and I think he might find the angle. Oh, there's the find. Yep, Fur, just under a minute, starts to get aggressive. coldzera takes up his position on catwalk. Deagle's already rang out once. Oh, can't find another one. Tarek is going to follow up on catwalk one more time. He's got to get close up with his CZ. Finds the first, but can't convert on the second.
That's a good enough kill. There definitely was a chance that he could have turned it into a double. So now, I mean, they can show up on catwalk and make a bit of noise, but unless they get some very early frags, it's just not going to be possible. The Molotov then replaced by the smoke means they're going to have to wait a really long time. And Zeus has another Molotov, so even if they get the kill here on Edward, they're still going to have to find a way to make it through another wall of fire, and they're going to back it off instead. Makes sense to me. Round number 12 on the board now for NaVi. 4 rounds away, Moses, from that grand final. And at this point, I mean, whoever they face, if it's Liquid, if it's Astralis, that is going to be an incredible match as well.
They're going to be a tough test. Much tougher than they looked early on in this event. It's been a fun story to watch, the amount of teams that have really had to build into their final form here in this major. You want to be peaking at the right moment. It looks like NaVi is doing just that. We know Astralis had their struggles early on. They're peaking at the right moment. Liquid, on the other hand, looked dominant early on. They stumbled a little bit against Hellraisers yesterday, but still pulled out a win.
Definitely a suffocating performance out of NaVi. Huge lead in their favor. They're doing everything right at the moment. There might be see little flashes of something that looks like it could be working, but they haven't been able to break NaVi at any point. even when they've been winning like 3 rounds in a row, they just keep being there. They just don't give up.
Every round they have some kind of danger, and that's so difficult to play against. You just want that reprieve. And NaVi is just unrelenting. USP on Zeus. He doesn't buy any weapons, just to lead the way, saving money for these gun rounds to come in, scouting for his rifles. Doesn't see anything, and there's the spot in towards pit. You've got coldzera at the car, a crossfire setup, but Zeus wins that. Stewie is able to find 1 kill. He's pushing up an upper B. Electronic needs this frag, but he can't get it. Stewie outduels 2 with the MAC-10. He switches out to the AK, but Simple now, his turn to pounce, and does he ever?
Again, him and Electronic right now, neck and neck at 18 kills each. This is just an incredible duo, and Edward's right behind them at 17, so they've even tagged on a 3rd player to that. I mean, it's too much to ask for. Cold here with a deagle, forced out the Molotov, burning him every second, and yeah, he's got no choice. He had to go and peek it. And Stewie, for all the damage he did early on, it's still a 1 versus 3 for him. I mean, walking up this slope, it's just so hard. A triple kill for Simple, making it 13 rounds for NaVi. Can anything stop them at this point in time?
I have no idea. You know, we were laughing. There was that interview Electronic gave where he said, you know, I think I could be better than Simple. And we all kind of giggled a little bit. And then we started actually thinking about it. And it was like, oh, God, he actually can be. He actually is that good. And what a performance from him in this tournament so far as he's really stepped into the light in this NaVi lineup. MiBR, much like Overpass, this gun round has to be where they get started. They have to begin here. Electronic trying to come through the choke point. He's down so low, 7 HP. He's found through the smoke. Excuse me, actually falling at the angle at long. But the rest of the players getting up catwalk, a little bit of team damage. Here comes the attack onto the A bomb site. I don't think they're going to slow down.
No, they just want to keep up the pressure. Fallen back on the ramp. Molotov not going to do any damage to coldzera this time. Can he get the headshots? Revealing his position by now. And Cold peeking back into it. That's a great overextension, and they're falling right now. Tarek going to be going down as well. They had the lineup, 3 men at the bomb site, and they were not able to complete it. And that's kind of a round you have to win.
They had 3 players there, but it was hectic on the rotation back from long. None of them could be fighting at the same point at the same time. One by one, they crumble to NaVi's onslaughts. That's something we saw MiBR never able to do on their T side, whether they didn't have the courage or they didn't, you know, want to get up catwalk that fast, never able to punish anyone falling back from long. That is something that can counter that kind of a defense. NaVi just shows how effective it can be. Unfortunately, coldzera as well, burning in the flames, could never find a comfortable fight.
14-5. There's no slowing down this train. End station is going to be that grand finals, and who knows, maybe even beyond. This is, I can't remember NaVi looking like this. I mean, maybe even ever, even when they've been good, it's always been those weird wrinkles in their game that have always made me sort of just question it a little bit. I'm not really seeing much of that right now. This is just impressive.
When you think about this lineup as well, Simple, many have considered him the best player in the world for a number of years, still looking for his first major trophy. It was this core of MiBR, the Brazilians, who denied his first chance when he was playing for Liquid back in Cologne.
Think of some of the majors that Simple have had playing with Liquid, and also, like, you know, it's just been very weird, and he's managed to drag those teams really far in the majors. And
well, think of this as well. I mean, it was also NaVi with Zeus, with Edward, back at MLG, that were denied by the core of Brazilians their first major that they won at the beginning of 2016. You also think of Cluj-Napoca, Zeus and Edward, and Flamey actually denied that final.
I don't think about Cluj-Napoca, Moses, because Estrada should have won that major, and Nick ruined it for us.
No, there's a long history of this NaVi team attempting and getting oh so close to that major trophy and never able to hoist it. And for Zeus to go win one with Gambit and then come back and to put them in the finals again with a chance to lift that trophy one more time, what a story that would be for him as perhaps the most legendary player of this organization.
Without a question. 14-5 now. 2 more rounds, and they will have done it. First team to make the grand finals. Stewie ready here at the corner with the AWP. A lot of people coming in the other side. He's out in the open. He gets the leg shot. That won't do it. Zeus down to 15, but he'll take that fight. No problem. Fallen goes back, picking up the AWP. Oh, a little bit scary. Blocks the grenade, and he's going to stay at the corner as well. are they going to be a setup? They're going to be quick about it. There's the flashbang for the peak. Oh my God, what a flick. Taking down Suit. That was incredible. More of that, please.
Oh, but they need to still defend this A bomb site. They're in trouble. Tarek cannot hold it on this bottom ramp, and he's kind of scared to creep out. They don't know if anyone could be out towards long, so MiBR in a desperate situation. Almost finds that. Somehow that misses, and Fallen's brought down to 10. He cannot take a single point of damage, and someone, him or Tarek, has to risk it at some point. Over the smoke, Fur's not prepared. Flamey found an angle, and he's got an avenue into the B bomb site. And MiBR have to respect this, but they've all fallen 15-5.
It doesn't seem like it matters what they do right now on the MiBR side. NaVi have an answer for everything. Individually, pushing into that bomb site, opening up with a double kill. You can't, I mean, that's the stuff you dream of if you're playing on Dust 2, be able to do that and come right back in it. Even though Fallen was trying to be mobile, you get that kill on Catwalk and then falling back into the middle is a good idea.
It's such a tough defense, though, when you don't have anyone in the bomb site or out towards long. When you're both in CT spawn, just add it onto it, Flamey.
Insult to injury.
Yeah.
Bringing him down. Cold Sierra taking down Edward. This is an incredible performance. It was good on overpass. It was great on overpass. This is looking absolutely godlike here on Dust 2. Stewie getting a kill, but Electronic will turn right back 3-on-3 now. The bomb just chilling in spawn at the moment. Maybe Fur could catch it with that UMP sneaking up, but a lot of maybes right now in this game. NaVi still looking great. Cold Sierra going to be taking down Electronic. Fur creeping in. Flamey's alone here with the bomb. This is a little bit awkward. Simple opening up, and are they good? Oh my God, they walk right past each other in middle. The timing is almost unbelievable. If he'd stayed around Flamey, he might have actually got a free kill, or he might have, he's still looking for it. Simple calling it in, saying, I've got this bomb site, let's go.
There's plenty of time. It's kind of weird. I think NaVi's just trying to bait someone into a crosshair to figure out where exactly they are. And there's Flamey. He finds Stewie back towards T-spawn. That is going to be so frustrating. A free kill. Simple's going to close it out, 16-5. And NaVi going to be in the grand finals.
What a game. A version of NaVi that looks completely indestructible. Whatever team they face in the grand final is going to have one hell of a game on their hands. This is just incredible. Simple and Electronic. 22 kills on Simple, 21 on Electronic.
Well, Electronic got his revenge. He had his dream matchup.
Yeah.
MiBR in the semifinal. He said he wanted it. Either way, we've got an interview down with Freya. We'll send it over to her.
Freya's going to be grabbing a player after the handshakes, but first, what a game we got to see from NaVi. That is, as you heard from Anders, an indestructible force. MiBR almost humiliated on the second map.
Yeah, we spoke about how risky that pick was, considering how it went earlier for them in the tournament, but NaVi looking well and truly prepared on this and moving into the grand final. Wow. They've really filled the hole that they had in their map pool by looking strong on Dust 2.
That just sets us up for a fantastic grand final already. NaVi, always the showman. And just one final hurdle remains for NaVi. It will be the victor of Astralis and Liquid. MiBR, though, it was a project, and it's only they're in their fledgling stages threat. We haven't seen the last of MiBR.
No, I mean, they went further than most people would have believed. It's just the way they went out of the tournament, right? 2-0, and they didn't really show anything on these two maps.
Yeah, but that's, of course, something for them to go back to the drawing board and understand and analyze. I mean, the Dust 2, there was clearly a thought process there. I was so excited that I forgot my jacket.
Yeah, that's all right.
I was just so ready to talk
nice.
about Counter-Strike. I forgot the swagger.
That's all right. You still look really nice there.
Thanks,
but with the
darling.
structures there, and MiBR, there's a bright future for them. I just think they need to get a little bit more experience as a unit under their belt.
Yeah, and we're going to be checking in now with Freya. She's got some players on the stage from the winning side, NaVi. Let's check in with them.
That is certainly right, guys. I am here with the winning side, NaVi. London, please make some noise for your first grand finalists. Electronic, how does it feel to be heading to that grand final? I'm sorry, Clay.
Yeah, it feels good. What else? I don't know. Just happy that we did some good work and it works off. So we are in grand final.
So Simple, this is the first time that you face this new MiBR squad. What were your preparations like?
Of course, we prepared all maps. I just want to say when the score was 15-6 on overpass, I had a flashback from MLG Columbus. this insane comeback. Yeah, so our preparation was really good. We knew what they're going to pick, but we didn't actually expect them to pick Dust 2 because, I don't know, we played it good against BIG and we thought they're going to pick Inferno or some other map. But good game to them. That was a really tough game against them. And yeah, I'm really proud of my team that we are doing step by step, and now we are in final. It feels good.
So Flamey, I just want to pick up on that. Was that Dust 2 pick from MiBR a surprise to you as well?
Can you repeat?
Was the Dust 2 pick from MiBR, was that a surprise to you as well?
Yeah, simple said, we knew that they probably gonna pick Dust 2 or Inferno, no other maps, and we prepare for Dust 2 as same as Inferno, so we were ready to play it.
So coming into your map pick, you guys looked absolutely dominant on that first half. How did you find that momentum just to carry it through?
Oh, it was a bit tough at the beginning, especially when they destroy our economy. But we managed to win some crucial clutch rounds, like me and Flamey won one of them. And after we just came back in game and we knew how to play against them, we tried to go A at the beginning, but it didn't work, so we decided to go B. Seems like it's more weaker side for their team. Yeah, everything worked. Thanks Kane and Zeus. They're doing a great work for the team.
I just want to pick up on yourself and Electronic. You guys look absolutely dominant. You have such firepower behind you. How does this affect the team's overall play style?
It always affects really good because not only us three, but all of us just can win the round by solo, you know? That's why Counter-Strike is a great game, because you can actually win game individually. It's not like in Dota when you're going in team fight and you can do anything when you're alone, but in this game, you can do whatever you want. You can make your own game.
As one of the best players in the entire world, what would it mean to you to take your first major title?
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy because tomorrow is going to be a hard day for us. It's going to mean a lot for not only for me, but for all our players. So I'm just waiting for this moment. It's going to be a good match, and I wish good luck for Team Liquid and Astralis today. I hope everyone's going to watch this great game, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much, guys, and congratulations again on that win. Alex, over to you.
Oh, fantastic stuff. Simple and Flamey giving us some choice words as they prepare for a grand final. NaVi, they just shrug off the competition in the semi-finals.
Yeah, and we definitely pointed out how much of a risk this map was. We have to point it out again. NaVi just looking solid. They went with that 4A setup that Astralis used against MiBR earlier in the tournament, and it worked a charm. It really forces the Ts to be chasing their tail. And when you have Simple and Electronic playing out of their skin consistently, it's so difficult to deal with, but blunders for MiBR felt like it tilted them in the early stages. You could see some really questionable buys coming out. They were making plays or they were making decisions that they must have known there were gaps and smokes. They must have known that you can't overlook certain positions. It just was a flat performance.
And I mean, talking about Simple and Electronic, some stats to back it up. 1.45 rating from Electronic, and that's not the highest rating. Simple on Dust 2 with a 1.74 according to HLTV. That's absurd.
I mean, it's quite clear that they are the best duo in the world right now.
Yeah, they are just firepower. And then you've got Flamey, who does comfortably pick up the AWP, as you mentioned before, threat. And they are a triple threat.
Yeah, they, as Simple said, Kane and Zeus did a really good job. They looked really prepared on Dust 2. However, I'm going to mention it again. Why did MiBR pick Dust 2? It just seemed like they weren't prepared at all.
I mean, it's not an answer that we'll get any closer to answering before we speak to the players and the coach themselves. I mean, the NaVi boys seem to anticipate it. They said it's one of these two maps. We expected more Inferno than Dust 2, and I guess NaVi, they were wiser than us.
I think, maybe that shock and awe factor of going into a map that they've clearly proven that they're strong on, and one that MiBR had a massive hiccup on, was the case there. Maybe they sat down and they thought, we can beat them on this map. We do have a potent double AWP duo, and we can go toe-to-toe with these guys. But when you can't, when your rounds, are trying to isolate one or two players, you can see when they had that cat strat, where they were just using like 2 flashes to drop into spawn and fight the guy boosted on the box. When it didn't work in the first couple of rounds, they didn't feel like they had many other strats up their sleeve. They weren't getting given long control very easily. There was nothing really going in the way of MiBR.
Yeah, and that's what's so tough. It wasn't It wasn't so much the final result, it was the way in which that final result occurred. It was a strong, dominant first half on Overpass, and again, we come into Dust 2, and NaVi do what they do best. You've been rattling off some stats.
They kept it alive.
They have to hear this.
In this series, all right, they won all their pistols, but throughout the tournament, they had won 50% before this series has come around. That's not a fantastic stat, but the most interesting part of this is their conversion after winning pistol. They're at 100% still for the entire tournament. So that just means that by the time you're getting 3 rounds on the board and you're moving into a first gun round, most of the time the CTs are going to go for a force buy, which means, hey, you've basically getting 4 rounds in the bag here if you're NaVi in a lot of these halves, and that is just such an impressive thing to have throughout an entire tournament.
Yeah, and I have to add to that most teams lose 1/3 of those force buys.
Right, and I just want to add on to that threat. You've selected a demo. You called this one, what was it again? A upgrade, a huge upgrade?
Well, I think I call it drastic changes.
Drastic changes, excuse me.
Yeah, and it's kind of surprising. Usually you see drastic changes when you're going into a map you're uncomfortable on. But now this is their map pick, right? And we're actually going to see Fur going up mid completely alone. There's no support with the AWP. And this is a team with Coldzera, Stu, 2K, and Fallen. But Fur is the one picking up the AWP. He's trying to get a picking mid. I think a leg shot's simple. He just falls back, and they do a simple A long push with 5 people. And they just don't seem prepared.
Yeah, what doesn't make sense about this is definitely Fur with the AWP. Fallen in the last map of Overpass was the best AWPer in the server. He had the most AWP kills, and time again, he was actually picking off Simple. Here, why give it to Fur, who is probably 5th in the rankings of this team? I would even put Tarek ahead of him with picking up that weapon, the AWP. It just looked to me like they were tilted, and they were just going for some really random, really risky kind of plays. Then the next round, where they held on to that AWP, he did find an opening kill, but Fallen picked one later up on the B bomb site, got 2 kills to close out the round. So it just seemed like a weird, play. Sure, okay, maybe they're like, well, he doesn't have Kevlar, so we're going to give him the AWP so we can just take those fights. But why would he be alone in such an area of the map where he can get picked off and not traded?
Yeah, I mean, a lack of innovation, perhaps. And actually, innovation was the key word for this next demo.
Yeah, so it's something to note with this MiBR roster in this entire tournament. They've definitely had structure, they've definitely had game plans, and they've had some innovation with executes. I thought this one was really cool. They've thrown out the B lurk smoke here, which is used on a lot of defaults, so this is a similar look to most of their rounds. Nades will come in case someone wants to get a little bit cheeky behind it. But the cool thing here is the Molotovs that have been set and lined up, just basically carpet bombing the bomb site, forcing the CTs out of position, know where you can stand in the defensive points. The flashes come in, you have to play in front of them, and that's just a really awkward situation to be in as a CT defender. So there aren't really too many highlights for MiBR in this matchup, but at least the prep's been done, and I can see a bright future where these strategies can come out and really rattle some opponents.
And that was one of them. I mean, of the few you could find for a highlight. And actually, highlight is something we're going to continue to run with, because it is time to take a look at that X factor of the match. And I've heard it is just a highlight reel for one man with an absurd statistics. 1.7 rating on Dust 2, well into the 1.5s. It was Simple who really did bring it in this semi-final. He said he wants that trophy. I don't even know how he would react if that trophy was in his grasp after being called the best for so long.
And the crazy thing right now is not only is he continuing to perform at this level, the rest of the members on his team have all stepped up to the plate. You can look at their spacing, you look at the way they play off of each other. NaVi are actually now, for once, a completely well-rounded roster.
Yeah, and the insane thing is if you would actually have seen a highlight reel with Electronic, and then someone said, oh, he's not the highest rated player, it's Simple.
Yeah, that's true. You could do that. I mean, they both had absurd stats. I'm actually looking at the series as a whole. It's 48 for Simple, 45 for Electronic. They just are this deadly duo, and we're not exaggerating when we say that, one of the biggest win conditions for NaVi is the fact that those two exist in the server in the same jersey.
And they continue to show up time and time again. That is so impressive. The fact of the matter is that they can do it all the time. Sure, we did see moments from Edward. He had a really good game. Flamey's had a fantastic tournament, and Zeus always has a lot of impact. And he's always, you saw on Long how many plays he was making there. That's influential to the team, and he plays for the team. So this unit is finally firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, no, and we are getting closer to talking about our next semi-final. I want to bring up the bracket to show you where we are at right now. From 24 to just 3, soon to be 2, as it's Team Liquid versus Astralis to round out our day. Now, it's worth noting that this is one of the most highly anticipated matches of the major. There are teams that have played so many games against one another, both hitting their peak at the same time here in London. And there is just so much to look forward to. Of course, we actually are going to be looking forward because it's not an accelerated schedule and we're going to be taking a break. In fact, what we're going to leave you with during this break, don't worry, it's not just the dub-dub-wub-wub. Instead, a documentary to feast your eyes upon before we return with Liquid versus Astralis.